Okay, so it's that time of year for the 2020 update on selling stock footage on the side. So by the numbers, 2020 has been a pretty good year to date. 23 sales of 20 different clips for a total income of $736 from those sales, and my total portfolio online, because I know that's something that's interesting, 497 clips. I've been adding some over 2020. This has not been a huge year for me adding clips to my stock footage library, but that's where we're at. And I want to take a look at the clips that have sold so far this year, break them down, give you some of my takeaways. But first, I need to add a little disclaimer. My sales come almost entirely from the Blackbox platform, but I don't recommend that for everyone. In fact, you need to set your own goals for income and the amount of time that you want to spend on stock footage, and then go and look at what sites, what providers, what method you're going to go about for selling stock footage. So do your research, look into the different platforms. Let's go ahead and jump into the clips and talk about what I've seen in the market this year. So I've got more sales than ever before this year. Revenue is down slightly. I think that's because we continue to see the rise of these all-you-can-eat subscription-based stock footage licensing services, and that drives the cost per clip down across the board. You still have sites like Film Supply that are selling super high-quality clips at a higher price point, but for the most part, the industry is going towards a race to the bottom. This year, as I continue to expand my portfolio and moving forward, my philosophy continues to be repurpose as many clips as I can, whether they're clips shot for projects or for just personal things for fun. I try to repurpose those into stock as much as I can, because that's kind of like getting paid twice, especially if it's a client job and you can use some B-roll that's unidentifiable and you can resell it. That's getting paid twice for the same clip, and that's awesome. I really don't find myself shooting exclusively for stock, like going out and saying, I want to make stock clips. One thing to come out of this year was more consistency in sales. Even though revenue was down in every month except for May, I ended up selling a clip, and so that's great. That gives me a good outlook for next year. Hopefully this income will start to become more consistent and less random, streaky, a bunch of clips selling at once and then silence for months. This year, I also saw kind of a play that I made pay off, keeping politics out of it. But when I lived in Richmond, Virginia, I saw these monuments that were around. And I figured, hey, let me grab a couple shots of these, because I know at some point in the next few years, these are going to be relevant. There's going to be news surrounding them. And this year, things, again, keep politics out of it, but things happened the way that they did. And those clips ended up selling, which was great. I kind of had a little bit of foresight there. I don't always have that, but it was good to see that paying off here in 2020. And of course, aerial footage continues to be super, super strong, because when I think about what I buy as an editor for stock footage, a lot of the time stuff on the ground level is hard to mix with existing footage, because type of camera, depth of field, is it stabilized, is it handheld? There's a whole lot more that comes into play, whereas with an aerial establishing shot, though aerials are one of the easiest things to license because they can blend in really well with a whole wide variety of different styles of projects. This year, again, I sold multiple times this one aerial shot of Red Rocks. That one just keeps popping up. I also sold some iPhone clips, which is super interesting. I don't often go out to shoot exclusively stock footage, but when I see something interesting that happens and I just have my phone on me, I'll end up shooting it. And if it's unique and it's the right subject, those clips can still absolutely sell on a stock footage platform. There you have it. That is the wrap up of 2020 in stock footage. My outlook on 2021 is pretty bright for this industry, because I think that remote production is still going to be super, super popular. Travel shoots are not going to be happening with near the frequency as they were before the whole situation that happened in 2020. And therefore, as an editor, I'm in the editing mindset. It's really easy to go to a stock website, pick up some aerials of an area and that kind of thing to help round out remote production. And so I think that there is a lot of opportunity still in 2021 for stock footage to fill in the gaps. I'm hoping that for another year or two, my sales will at least maintain this baseline level. I had one sale this year for $2 for a clip. That kind of stuff is going to start happening more often, unfortunately. But I hope that this has given you a good outlook on, what a realistic stock footage portfolio looks like, and what a very low management, low investment level stock portfolio can generate in a year. It's not crazy, life-changing money, but again, a lot of these clips are things that I'm shooting for something else and I'm able to repurpose, or it's just me whipping out my phone, grabbing a couple clips here and there, and those things are able to generate just a little bit of side income. Again, it's not life-changing amount of money, but it's enough to afford an extra hard drive here, an extra lens there. It's just a little bit of passive income on top of what you're already making as a full-time filmmaker.
All right, Drew, do your magic.